Rangers fans, buckle up because things around Ibrox are starting to heat up again. The blue half of Glasgow has been buzzing with debate lately, and most of it centres around one thing, the team's defensive woes. It's been one of the biggest talking points of the season, and one summer signing has found himself right in the middle of it all. After a string of shaky performances, many within the fan base are calling for the club to take serious action before the January transfer window swings open. Pressure is mounting, and the feeling is that something has to give sooner rather than later. Some of the most respected voices in Scottish football have already made their opinions clear. Rangers need to make bold, perhaps even ruthless decisions if they want to stay on course for silverware. But before we get into the heart of the defensive drama, there's another story that's been making waves, one that shows how quickly things can turn around when belief meets opportunity. Mikey Moore, the young loanee from Spurs, is the perfect example of that. Just a few weeks ago, many critics were ready to write him off. He had struggled to make any kind of impact early on, looking uncertain and out of sync with the pace of Scottish football. Even some former players were questioning whether he was cut out for the demands of Rangers, but since Danny Rowe took over as head coach, Moore has been a revelation. Suddenly, he looks alive, confident, and full of energy. He's scoring goals, creating chances, and playing with that sense of freedom every winger dreams of. It's like watching a different player altogether, and credit where it's due. Not everyone finds it easy to admit when they've got it wrong, but that's exactly what happened with Andy Halliday. He openly admitted he misjudged the young winger, saying that Moore has completely changed his view. In his own words, he didn't see anything early on that suggested Moore was ready for Rangers, but under Danny Rowe, he's been excellent in 4 of his last 5 games. That kind of honesty is refreshing, and it shows how quickly perceptions can change when a player gets the right system and a bit of confidence behind him. Moore's newfound spark has given fans something to smile about, a glimmer of what this new-look Rangers could be if everything clicks into place. Unfortunately, not everyone in the squad is enjoying that kind of transformation. For defender Nacer Jigger, it's been a very different story, one that's going from hopeful to downright painful. When he arrived from Wolves in the summer, there was optimism. He was young, strong, and seen as someone who could bring energy and steel to the back line. Instead, his spell at Ibrox has turned into a nightmare. Mistakes, red cards, and lapses in concentration have left both fans and pundits shaking their heads. His red card against Dundee in early August set the tone, and things have only gone downhill from there. That 6-0 hammering against Club Brugge was the breaking point for many supporters. It wasn't just a bad night, it was a performance that left Rangers legends like Ali McCoist calling it unacceptable. Even after that, Jigger has continued to feature regularly, often on the right side of a back three, but the results have been worrying. Every small error seems to lead to a big consequence, and every game feels like another test of patience. The fans are growing restless, and the media scrutiny isn't helping. Mark Guidi recently joined the chorus of criticism, arguing that Rangers should seriously consider sending him back to Wolves in January. His point was blunt: if a player isn't showing signs of improvement by now, it's better to cut losses early. And it's hard to argue with that. Jigger's confidence looks shot, and while there have been brief flashes of what he could offer, they've been far too rare. The clean sheet win over Hibs showed glimpses of potential, strong in the air, calm in one-on-ones, but moments like that have been overshadowed by too many costly errors. The discussion about Jigger, however, has also opened up a bigger conversation about Rangers' recruitment strategy. It's not just about one player struggling. It's about a pattern of signings that haven't delivered. Goidy didn't mince his words there either, pointing fingers at the club's sporting director, Kevin Thelwell, whose transfer record is starting to come under serious scrutiny. When you look at players like Emmanuel Fernandez and Max Aarons, the criticism becomes understandable. Fernandez came in from Peterborough for a hefty fee, around £3.5 million, and yet he's barely been seen in a Rangers shirt. Aarons, on loan from Bournemouth, was supposed to bring experience and composure, but instead he's struggled to adapt to the physicality and pace of the Scottish game. Between injuries and inconsistency, he's looked a shadow of the player many expected. For Thelwell, the pressure is building fast. The January window could be make or break for his reputation at the club. Rangers can't afford to keep getting it wrong in the transfer market, not when Celtic are showing no signs of slowing down. If Jigger and Aarons continue to underperform, the most logical move would be to end both loan deals early and reassess the squad. As for Fernandez, the situation might not be as urgent, but it's equally concerning. When a young defender with potential barely gets a look in, it raises questions about planning, player development, and long-term vision. Rangers can't afford to have another promising talent fade into obscurity because of poor integration or lack of opportunity. And then there's the curious case of Ned Barami, the Albanian midfielder who seems to have vanished from Rangers' plans entirely. Despite starting the season with some optimism and even scoring in a League Cup match against Alloa, he hasn't featured in the league since coming off the bench in Russell Martin's final game in charge. He wasn't even included in the Europa League squad, which tells you exactly where he stands in the pecking order. Yet, while he might be forgotten in Glasgow, he remains a key figure for his national team. Albania boss Sven Ho has come out publicly defending him, highlighting his contributions and pointing out that Barami has been their top scorer over the past 3 years with 7 goals. It's a reminder that sometimes a player's situation at club level doesn't reflect his true quality. Sven Ho even admitted that Barami is frustrated by the lack of playing time at Rangers, but he made it clear that he still values him highly for Albania. That kind of trust from an international manager speaks volumes. It's not just loyalty, it's belief in what the player can offer when he's given a fair chance. And it begs the question, could Rangers be wasting another talent who simply needs the right role and confidence to shine? Under a new manager like Danny Rowe, there's still time for redemption stories, and Barami might just be one of them if he's given the opportunity to prove himself again. Right now, though, all the attention remains on the defensive end of the pitch. Fans are watching closely to see if Jigger can turn things around, but it's a big ask. The atmosphere at Ibrox is intense and patience is running out. Every mistake feels magnified, every misplaced pass draws groans, and you can sense the tension whenever he's on the ball. Football can be unforgiving, especially in Glasgow, where expectations are sky high. For Jigger, this next stretch of games could define his entire spell at Rangers. Either he finds the form and composure that made the club take a chance on him in the first place, or his time at Ibrox could end just as quickly as it began. Behind the scenes, the coaching staff are working hard to steady the ship. Danny Rowe has brought new ideas and a different kind of energy, but he's also facing the reality of inheriting a squad that's still finding its identity. There are players adapting well, like Mikey Moore, and others struggling to meet the standard. It's a mixed bag, moments of promise surrounded by lingering frustration, but that's football, especially at a club the size of Rangers. Every decision, every signing, every performance is under the microscope. The fans demand excellence, and rightly so. The club's history is built on success, on pride, on resilience. That's why these discussions matter so much, because Rangers are supposed to be challenging at the top, not scrambling to fix problems halfway through the season. The upcoming fixtures will be crucial, not just for the team's position in the league, but for the futures of several players. The January transfer window looms like a storm cloud, and it's clear that major decisions are on the horizon. Jigger, Aarons, Fernandez, all of them could be facing uncertain futures if things don't improve quickly. For Danny Rowe and Kevin Thelwell, this will be the true test of their vision. Are they willing to make bold calls? Will they back the players who can deliver under pressure and move on from those who can't? The answers to those questions could shape not only the rest of this season, but the long-term direction of the club. As we move deeper into this story, the tension surrounding Rangers' defensive situation continues to build. The club has always prided itself on strong foundations, on having that sense of organization and discipline at the back that gives the team confidence to push forward. But this season, that stability has been missing. There have been flashes of resilience, yes, but too many moments where the defense has looked fragile and uncertain. Fans who have followed this team for years know that when Rangers are at their best, they dominate not only through attacking flair, but through solid, dependable defending. Right now, that identity feels lost, and it's something Danny Rowe must rebuild quickly if he wants to keep pace in both domestic and European competition. The mood around Ibrox after recent results has been mixed. Some fans believe this is just a transition period under a new coach, that the team needs time to adjust and gel. Others, however, are running out of patience. They've seen too many false dawns, too many promises of improvement that never fully materialize. It's not just about individual errors anymore. It's about the mentality of the group. You can sense the frustration when the team concedes soft goals or loses control of matches they should be dominating. That's why the calls for a defensive overhaul in January are getting louder. Supporters want to see decisive action, not just words about potential and development. They want results, clean sheets, and consistency. What makes this situation more complicated is that there are glimpses of what could be a strong side hiding beneath the inconsistency. Take players like Connor Goldson, who continues to lead by example and remains a key voice in the dressing room. His experience and composure are invaluable, but he can't do it alone. There needs to be chemistry and communication across the entire backline, and right now it's just not clicking. Jigger's struggles have highlighted the gap between potential and performance, and it's unfair to expect veterans to constantly cover for lapses in concentration. That balance between youth and experience, energy and discipline is what Danny Rowe must find quickly. Behind closed doors, training sessions have reportedly become more intense. Rowe is known for his demanding style, pushing players to be sharper, quicker, and more aware in defensive transitions. The message is clear: no one's place in the starting lineup is guaranteed. That approach seems to be getting through to some of the squad, while others are finding it difficult to adapt. What's clear is that the January window won't just be about adding new players. It'll be about trimming the fat, clearing out those who haven't lived up to expectations and giving chances to those who have shown real commitment. Fans can expect a few surprises when the club starts making those calls. And it's not just the defense that's under review. The entire structure of recruitment is facing scrutiny. The spotlight on Kevin Thelwell isn't fading anytime soon. Questions are being asked about scouting, about how decisions are made, and about whether the club's strategy truly aligns with the manager's vision. The modern game is ruthless in that sense. Get a few signings wrong, and it can set a team back by months or even years. Thelwell came in with a reputation for detailed planning and smart data-driven recruitment, but the recent track record suggests something isn't working as intended. Supporters aren't interested in excuses about adaptation periods or statistical profiles. They care about results on the pitch. That's where trust is earned or lost. On the other hand, it's not all doom and gloom. There are reasons to believe this Rangers side can still turn things around. The team's attacking play has shown promise under Rowe, with quicker transitions, better use of width, and a more fluid front line. Players like Mikey Moore are flourishing, and his resurgence is a perfect example of what can happen when confidence meets opportunity. He's not just scoring goals, he's adding creativity and unpredictability to a side that desperately needed it. His connection with the fans has grown too. They appreciate his work rate, his willingness to take risks, and his hunger to make things happen. In many ways, he represents the energy and spirit Rangers want to be known for. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. The Scottish football scene is buzzing with whispers that could shake the very foundations of the Premiership. Sources close to the corridors of power at Ibrox are hinting at a seismic move. Scott McTOMINAY, the midfield powerhouse who has long been a linchpin for his former club, is reportedly on the verge of joining Rangers in what insiders are calling a colossal agreement. While neither club has officially confirmed the deal, the rumour mill is spinning faster than a hooligan's chant on a European night. McTominay's name has been tossed around transfer gossip for seasons, but the notion of him swapping his old stomping ground for the iconic blue of Rangers has sent shockwaves through supporters. Fans have taken to social media in droves, speculating on how this could reshape Steven Gerrard's, or whoever currently sits in the dugout, midfield strategy. Known for his relentless engine, towering presence, and uncanny knack for crucial interceptions, McTominay is exactly the type of player that could galvanize a squad in search of domestic dominance and European ambition. Talk in Glasgow pubs and online forums is rife with excitement and disbelief in equal measure. Some insiders suggest that the financial details are stratospheric, hinting that Rangers are prepared to break their own transfer records just to secure the Scotland international signature. The move would not only signal intent on the club's part, but also mark a bold statement in the Scottish transfer market. Rangers are ready to flex their financial muscle and lure top talent north of the border. And meanwhile, rival clubs are reportedly watching nervously, aware that landing a player of McTominay's caliber could tip the balance of power in the league. Speculation is rife about potential partnerships in midfield, whether he would slot alongside an established playmaker or lead the line in a more defensive pivot. Whispers also suggest that this transfer could ignite a chain reaction with other high-profile players considering moves to Ibrox in the wake of such a headline-grabbing acquisition. For now, all that is certain is that the rumour has set tongues wagging and imaginations racing. Whether McTominay will truly don the famous blue shirt remains unconfirmed, but the very idea has injected a fresh wave of anticipation into Scottish football. Supporters are holding their breath, pundits are sharpening their columns, and the streets of Glasgow are alive with speculation. Could Rangers really be on the brink of the biggest coup in recent memory? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear: the buzz surrounding this potential signing shows no sign of slowing. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.